Welcome. This is Barry Jones from Angelic Wisdom, and we're here for our weekly angel reading for March 20th through the 26th, 2023. So I'd just like to begin by welcoming everyone back to this weekly series, and to also welcome anyone who is new to our Angelic Wisdom community. Just a few things before we get into the reading itself. I'd just like to, invite everyone who is watching to subscribe and to also like, dislike, and to leave comments. To make sure you also select the all notification bell as well. This reading, I've been really enjoying all of the comments, and it's really important, those of you who share your thoughts and insights as this reading impacted you or your interpretation, because you never know how you're filling in the blanks for someone else. And so I also encourage you who are watching, if you don't leave a comment, to also read the comments. Someone wrote something this week that really helped to me, so it was really, I'm really grateful for that. I also just want to thank everybody for all of the birthday wishes. Of course, I'm recording today on the 18th, so yesterday was my birthday on the 17th, and just for sending all the incredible love and well wishes. I had a really beautiful day, and I'm very, very, very grateful to all of you who contributed to that through your prayers and your energy and your love. So if you'd like to get an angel reading with me for this month, you can still get my first time promotional offer reading, and as a birthday thank you. And also for this month, that's open to everyone, whether you've had a reading with me or not. And this will be the last month for that. So you can, purchase one and use it at any other time. And there are also other available readings there that might fit your budget. So just to be aware of that. You can go to my current website, theangelschool.com/services, and that link will be in the description area below. If you haven't checked out the monthly general reading and the zodiac readings called Angel Scopes on my channel, make sure that you do that, because those are really helpful. And sometimes you might want to even listen to one that you can, with your angels, you might be able to, you could ask your angels to tell you which one, although it's not your sign, that might also have a great message for you. You can use some kind of, you can ask for a number, or whatever, or you can roll a dice and see which combination comes up to give you the month, the year to watch. I mean, there's all kinds of ways to do it, but if you feel drawn to a particular video, check it out. Sometimes people use their zodiac sign, their like moon sign and their rising sign as well, as well as their sun sign to view. And if you just like to contribute to my channel, you can go to my you can go to my PayPal Me link, which is in the description area below as well. And any thing that you offer is greatly appreciated. The amount doesn't matter, but the contribution does, and help me with the channel. Also, if I'm gonna be, I've gotten one of these links that you can use. If I don't know if any of you buy tarot, oracle decks, and I think if you use that link, it's called magic.com. I may put it there today, or I may start it the following week, but I'll mention it again. If you buy a deck on that website, you can get, well, first of all, it's really discounted, like 20% off. And so I've been using it a lot lately for my Oracle and Tarot decks. They don't have everything, but they have a lot. And they have other things there as well, I think crystals and sage, but I haven't purchased any of those things. But those will also I'll get a percentage that can go towards my channel as well. So I'll post that soon. I may post it in this video, but if you'd like to use that link, and that way you can support the channel and get some discounted prices. And so, yeah, and you can find all of those videos on my social media, like, below Twitter, my Facebook page, as well as here on YouTube, the Angel Scope and the general reading. I think I'll include the general monthly reading for March in the description area below as well. Okay, so let me get a sip of water quickly. So as you can imagine, my voice, I spent the entire day in conversations and with people from family members and friends pretty much all day long. So it was nice to get all of those phone calls, and this weekend I have more roommate interviews, and that's going to be a lot of talking. So yeah, so you're getting like my voice in the midway point of all of this. So let's take a deep breath together now. And just be aware of any tension in your body and just let it go. And just take another deep, nurturing breath into your heart space. And now we're going to call around your angels, the guardians of light that are part of your angelic team and your ascension team. And even Jesus is stepping forward. Ascended Master Jesus is stepping forward. And they just want you to take another deep breath into your heart. And as you breathe in, you're just breathing in all of this love from your angelic team. So just breathe in and open your heart and release. And Archangel Michael is really standing beside you in a very strong way. So his presence, and he's showing me sort of a crystal tower. It's very pointy, his determination on one end, and there's a sense of, it feels like a crystal, clear quartz. And so Archangel Michael is asking you to, he's writing love in huge letters. And maybe you might have, because he's showing me another type of crystal in the hand, maybe rose quartz. And if you don't have it in hand or nearby, you can call up the energy of a rose quartz crystal and just see and ask Archangel Michael to bless this crystal for you, and to place it in your soul. And it's an intention of safe, the word safe, that you're safe and you are loved. And ask, and put your intention into this crystal. and affirm your faith in God and the universe and the angels, that they are keeping you safe and they're supporting you with an enormous and incredible amount of love right now. So it gives me a sense that whatever's going on in your life right now, that you're going through some extra challenges where your soul's faith is really being tested in some way. And they just want you to know that, as they show me a pyramid crystal, that this is because of your ascension process. You're really on this path firmly right now. And it's really important that you nurture yourself. And when they show me, they keep showing me sort of a female breast, which is my symbol for nurturing, but they're covered in a bra and sort of a negligee, so that has another level meaning to me. But the bra always means to me, guard, having boundaries, setting boundaries, okay? So that it's okay to be a nurturer, but you have to be also a nurturer of yourself, right? And the negligee maybe gives me a sense of resting, not just sleeping, but resting and relaxing. And maybe there is not enough of either of these. And I think they're all important: resting, relaxing, and sleeping. Sometimes you don't have to be in the bed to rest. It's not the same as sleeping. But sometimes when we just rest for a moment, meaning we stop and we just sit and we just allow our mind and everything to just stop or put it on hold, just so that we can rest and recuperate, regenerate. And especially because whatever seems to be testing your faith or your soul at this time is only exacerbated and amplified by the lack of self-care and nurturance. So making sure that you get enough sleep, that you have time, that during the day, periodically, that you just allow yourself to maybe relax. Maybe, it's just about maybe that relaxation is taking a deep breath and rubbing your neck and your shoulders and just reminding and just taking your hands and rubbing down each arm and your chest and your stomach, your back, your hip, your glutes, you can just do this now, your legs, your thigh, all the way down. And you're just doing this to tell your body to relax, to let go of tension, okay? And then to rest, which might be meditation, and just breathing. And just notice how this little bit of work, energy work, helps you to feel less of the intensity of the stress that might be sort of compounding around you. And so that relaxation technique and just breathing to relax everything, or to rest rather, and to getting a good amount of sleep, increasing your sleep, trying to get that 8 hours in, and also trying not to do things before bed or while in bed. Don't take your tablet to bed or your phone to the bed chamber. Don't even take it in the bedroom, or at least put it somewhere away, and just rest. Um, Last night, this week I was doing like sort of this inner child, with that, there was an exercise in that Lemurian star child oracle I was telling you about. And I'm still working with it. I'm still planning to do a video, but I've been, something was worrying me or something was bothering me. And what I've been doing, when I feel these emotions, somewhere something was brought to my attention, maybe in that oracle, that the emotions that we're feeling, like our pent up emotions, or triggered emotions, is the inner child. Just all of our emotions are the it's the inner child speaking, and often we don't take the time to communicate. And I started by imagining, and I see myself most times now like as 6 or 7 years old, and I start talking to it, and being aware of the impact that it's having by the way that I'm responding to some negativity that's happened, has occurred. And I just, because it's this awareness of responsibility in myself, and also of what it's dealing with when I am not dealing with, and then making choices that is not helping. And it's almost as if it was a child of your own, and it's like if you were, say, somebody upset you, and you were noticing your child was standing right there, how would you really want to handle it? And whose feelings would be more important in that moment? It would be the child, because you would not want what's happening to be passed on to that child. And so it's that, if you think of when you're talking to yourself, that you're treating that inner child self as if it was a child of your own, you'll really get the connection that needs to happen here. But the thing about it is that I assured it, and then I was talking to it, and I just fell asleep peacefully, instead of just still, going on and on in my head and not being able to let it go. So I'm just going to recommend this. And I'll tell you another place where I really got the idea, and it's a really good TV show. It's called Unprisoned as well. And it just happened, I pulled the card, and then this TV show is there. So, as they call it, coincidence or God incidents, right? Is what it was. And it just gave me the clarity of how some of the things, the ways and the things I need to really address. So it's called Unprisoned. It's Kerry Washington, and it's really good. It's a comedy. And I was like, what is she doing in the comedy? But it's done really well. And her inner child will show up a lot. And it's just fabulous. And so if you want to get a great sort of example of that. But yeah, just if you're having trouble resting, and throughout the day when you're feeling emotions and things trigger you at your job or people or whatever it is, take a moment as a part of that resting, which could be like meditation. Talk to your inner child, see how it's feeling, and care for it the way it's feeling, because those are your feelings. And parent those feelings. And I really felt an enormous amount of healing and release from that. So just be aware of that. This week there are things that are testing the soul, but you're on your ascension path, which means in some ways we are reaching a point in which we are, there's a reading I did for next week, and the world card came up. And, the world card is about sort of completion of a cycle, right? But in that is a transition. It's like omega and alpha, right? Because ending and beginning. And we just have trouble letting go and really embracing the stepping into that next chapter. And we have to be kind and compassionate with ourselves as we do this, because often we have become accustomed to the old, even though it may not be healthy or any longer, but it's familiar and we know what to expect. And although we want change and we pray for it and opportunities and promotions, and then once we get it, it's like energetically, it says, I've gone to prepare a place for you, that kind of idea, meaning when you ask it is given. And so it's almost like you're stepping into big shoes, like if you have a new role or new promotion, but the shoe is actually you. It's the expanded version of you that occurred the moment you prayed. And so what you're not realizing is that you think you're having to step into somebody else's shoes, but it's really stepping into your own, the greater version of you, this new version of you. And the way to really do it is to be authentic, because when you prayed, your ego wasn't involved in that prayer. When the asking it is given, what was given from your highest self, your true light. And so you constantly, we're going through changes, and it's one of the reasons why what seems like challenge or tests are sort of always thrust upon us as we're trying to move forward, is because it's the illusion that you have to fill somebody else's shoes, or you have to fill the shoes of the position, when really it's more about you expanding into your authentic self. And then you will feel as though you really truly belong. So it's the greater version of you that you're trying to fulfill or fill those shoes. And the only way to do it is to become more and more authentic, to just be yourself, to shed those limitations that you've grown to believe need to be there in order for people to accept you, to like you, and to approve of you. I don't like to quote things like this of the Bible, but it's really important that I go to prepare a place for you, before you, or the Psalm, I can't remember how it goes, but it's a similar phrase that, what I've been saying in the last couple of weeks is that everything that you, every solution, every answer that you need has already been created before you know you needed that. And so you only have to step into it, but you don't know how, because when you're trying to manipulate yourself into being something that you think is the expectation, then you are getting further and further away from the truth. And that is what creates the challenges or the seemingly tests, because those are like guardrails to keep you from going all the way out of not acting on any aspect or any thread of your truth or who you truly are. It's like those little bumpers on the road, so that if you to go off the road, it'll wake you up. And that's the only reason for the challenges, the tests, or the negativity, is a sign to wake up and get back on your ascension path, your path of light. It's not there to create a sense of threat or harm, or to indicate judgment against you. It's only there to wake you up. And that is why when we have emotions about these things that go wrong, or that test us, or that challenge us, or that are negative or toxic, it is important to talk to your inner child, because the inner child will end up interpreting that as this big scary monster, and that becomes impressed into the tapestry of your life, which then becomes these internal obstacles that you have to hurdle over, and you don't, because they're misinterpretations, they're illusions, they're not real. You believed it, and so now it's like they're like these mirages that are just on your path. And so by having that parenting your inner child as though you would, as this adult of, greater clarity, would help that inner child talk it through that interpretation so you can let it go, and in doing so, heal yourself and liberate yourself, and onto the path where you can learn to navigate with greater ease these moments that might erupt suddenly on your path and throw you off and cause you to be sort of like broke down on the side of the road and can't ask for help, or don't have you don't have insurance or something, to get the help you need. And so then that makes you feel stuck, and like you don't have a way out, like all your options, you don't have them, because that's what that mindset would do to you. All right, so let's take a look at the archangel that we're working with for this week. Okay, and this is Archangel Purlimiek, and he's the archangel of nature. And it says, let nature soothe you, serve the nature kingdom. So this is an invite to spend some time in nature to help you to relax and to help you to get in alignment with your soul's algorithm. And it just gives me a sense of the challenges that you're experiencing, the tests that you're experiencing, the trial that your soul seems to be going through is all because of one thing. Not because you did anything wrong, not because somebody else is awful, or whatever blame game or judgments that our ego triggers us into. This is about you are out of sync or not fully in alignment with the universe, with your divine blueprint, etc. And getting out in nature and breathing helps you to sink in alignment with your soul and with your body. And so that all of these parts of you, mind, soul, body, start to work in a way of cooperation and co-creation. So it seems like, you see, there's this little seedling that is sort of blooming here. And so there's this idea of, I feel like he's asking you to focus as we're, the beginning of this week, the spring equinox. And so focus on what's regenerating itself naturally in your awareness in your life right now. Focus on those budding opportunities or budding ideas. You might be receiving these ideas that just seem so small and tiny, impossible from where you're standing right now. But the idea is to nurture yourself so that you can nurture these ideas, these opportunities that are answers to your prayers. Okay? All right, so let's take a look at the first card for the week. It's just interesting, this nurturing yourself in order that you can nurture these ideas. that are answers to your prayers. And you might say to yourself, but I don't have time for this, for the relaxation technique and the inner child work, rest, and I don't have enough time to sleep. I have this, and my kids need, and this, and I got to do this, and I have to get up early, and I have to go to bed late. I just do the best I can. But the thing is, will really, taking care of yourself will allow you to do, if you think you're doing the best you can, well then just imagine how great your best can really be if you make this time to sync with your soul's algorithm, your own true nature, being authentic in how you express yourself, making sure that you're not compromising your integrity or the integrity of the group that you're working for. You know, like playing our role. Sometimes we try to fix things and manipulate things for a group, or I got to put myself out there so we'll all suffer. But the thing is, are you doing everything and everybody else could be doing more? And it's not that they might be choosing to take advantage of your generosity because you're being too generous. You're not focusing on what you're supposed to do. And you have to listen to your soul, because if you do more than you're supposed to do, you're interfering with somebody else's ascension path, their path of growth with their gifts and their skills. So this is why it's important for us to know, I don't want to just say this, but I'm going to say it, like how to stay in your own lane sometimes, because, and it's not to say you can't go wherever you want to go. That's not it. But everybody else is also here to fulfill a purpose and discover themselves through their own path. And if we take on their stuff that they're supposed to be figuring out for themselves, then we're preventing them from growing in the way that they're meant to. All right, so let's take a look at the first card for the beginning of the week. And so we have the Hierophant. And this card, in this moment, I guess the keys here are grabbing my attention. And, you know, here the keys can represent access to higher knowledge and wisdom, right? It's about accessing something. And I feel like that right now, it's really important for you to access your own inner wisdom. And this card also represents for me like institutions, right? So whatever institution that you're working within or involved in at this time, there is wisdom. There's something that you will access through this institution. And so, but this is also a card of spirituality, you know. I feel like the difference between, I don't know if I should get into this right now, but the high priestess and the high priest, there's a similarity here. You know, one invites you to discover. You know, she doesn't give away the secrets. You have to figure out how to access the secrets that you want, and it's by going within. Where the high priest sort of extends that knowledge outwardly, right? He interprets the spiritual wisdom of a situation. So your situation, you might need to pay attention, and that there's more that meets the eye, and that there is a spiritual purpose even in this practical situation. So I feel like, you know, because of the energy of Taurus here, that sort of with this card, that it's practical, it's this practical life experience, but it's applying the spiritual understanding to the practical understanding. So it's sort of that bringing that grounding in, bringing that spiritual essence into, or grounding it, or embodying the spiritual in the physical day-to-day awareness. And so there's something here that you really, there's a huge lesson. So fives represent the lesson. And so it's sort of the Hierophant is sort of teaching. So right now, there is an experience that's teaching you something. And you're having to learn how to balance the spiritual with the practical, and really integrate that foundation, or integrate that into the foundation of whatever it is you're trying to do at this time. All right, let's take a look at the the card, and then we have the Fool. And so this is a card, this is about, new beginnings, that your potential is sort of at a high peak. You can feel it, and it's calling you to sort of make some huge changes in your life, right? And it's about that approach, right? Bringing a more spiritual approach to the sort of mundane or practical matters in your life. And the energy that with the Fool card is the planet Uranus. So it's this sort of bold idea, this sort of something that might create sort of a drastic change, or out of the box kind of way of thinking or approaching things. And so don't be afraid to, what's the phrase? Don't be afraid to be different. Don't be afraid to gosh, I can say it. It's a very common phrase. Don't be afraid to disrupt the status quo. All right. So, the Hierophant represents the status quo as well. I mean, although it's this mixture of spiritual and the practical, but it still ends up becoming the status quo. I mean, a part of me feels like, this spirituality comes into these structures, these institutions, and then it kind of gets locked, sort of like, religion or any type of institution, our government, the founding ideas of the founding fathers, seemed liberating, but then in application through the institution, it gets cramped and, stifled. It becomes something else. We erect monuments to them and monuments to our religious figures. And then that sort of freezes them in time. It doesn't allow their teachings to evolve and expand through us, or even be able to speak through us, and we expand it. No, it has to be this, it can't be changed because this is the way it was, and this is what they said, and it's nothing else, kind of thing. And so you might be, in a sense, feeling like this might be happening within you, like that you're being confronted, that the spiritual, like this Uranus sort of, which is related to our crown chakra, all these ideas that this radical sort of shifts and changes, applications are sort of disrupting our status quo, what we've come to, what we've grown attached to, what we've become accustomed to. And right at this moment, it's necessary for this bold change, this bold you. And guess what the boldness is? It's your authenticity. That's what it is. It's never been, it's something that's never truly been fluid, fully liberated, capacitated. It's not really been and it's existed in its full capacity within you yet. And everything that we've been doing spiritually has really been striving for that to be, because once that is, all of what you are asking for, all of what you desire or dream that could be possible is and will be, because when you actualize your authentic self. And this is really where we need to be on the ascension process. Everything right now about accusing others of being liars or false information and all this stuff, all of this is attacking the ego. And it's it's like a knock on our doors for each one of us. You may not be the one, let's say, putting false news and things like that, but it's not about that. It's not literal. It's about this spiritual awakening. It's signifying to all of us, to our egos, to let let that outer shell go, to let it dismantle, so that the truth, your authentic self, this incredible divine, this divinity, this light, this truth will shine, and let the template that it represents establish the new earth, establish the new institutions. That's why this energy is breaking this up, basically. And, it's like Uranus is breaking up those things, the practicality structures of the Taurus, so that this new foundation can be placed and within us and within our lives. And, it's sort of like, yeah, we're talking about the greater world and all the institutions, but it starts at home. Once you're activated, you will activate everyone else. You will automatically help them. We are all, remember, I think I can remember how I said it, but our independence is dependent upon our interdependence, right? I think that's how the angels said it, or our interdependence is dependent upon our independence. No, yes, that's our independence is dependent upon our interdependence, right? So the whole idea is that we're all connected as one. When one of us has our true activation, then the rest of us that are in the vicinity will have ours more easily. Our illusions will dismantle. So it just takes one of us. The highest vibration, as one of my teachers said, rules. Okay? All right, let's take a look at the card for the end of the week. And we have the Moon card. We have all major arcana cards. So talking about illusion. So this is just the completion of what I just said. All right. So in this week, this is really going to be a powerful week of dismantling illusions in order for this boldness to come through, which is authenticity. Permission to be truly who you are. And to really get in touch. And that will allow you to really be in touch with your true nature, the algorithms that your soul is here to sort of actualize, the God incidences, when things happen and opportunities kind of intersect, all of that will happen naturally, and it'll be all in balance and in alignment for what your role is in this entire ascension process. And so that's really important. Okay, so the card I already pulled from the bottom of the deck is the Four of Pentacles. In this instance, this tells me that in a healthy way, you need to kind of conserve your energy. Okay? It doesn't mean conserve in terms of being yourself, but you need to conserve your energy so that you can focus on what is your sort of, what is your purpose, what is really your goal here? What is your soul's purpose in this moment? To take the time before just jumping in and saving the day, figure out what is really your purpose. Because you're going to end up giving yourself more time and energy, because when we don't ask that question and discern by just observing for a moment, and, I don't know, other people are spinning drama, and you jump right in and just assume that, yeah, I'm supposed to jump in, and don't even realize I'm jumping into somebody else's drama. Now, it's not that you're supposed to let somebody just hurt themselves, right? But you have to ask, discern, what is my role here? And then follow that divine prescription to the letter. Because you might be the person whose role is just to help turn them in the right direction, but then let them figure it out from there. Just as an example. And if you do what you normally do, where you don't have boundaries, and you spend more time nurturing others and neglecting yourself, you will go all the way, take them all the way there to the river or the water. They say you can take a horse to the water, but you can't make them drink. You'll take them to the river, and then you'll be struggling there to get them to drink. But if you understand how to just lead them there, meaning to point them in the right direction, they'll go there and they'll drink. But if you take them there, which is saying force them there, you usurp their ability to discover what they needed and to come into the realization, I need this. So by the time they reach the water, they say, yeah, I need this. But if you do more than what you're supposed to do, they will never have the math go off in their mind to realize, oh, I need this. So they'll be in total resistance. I don't want this. Why are we doing this? Kind of thing. And so in that way, conserve your energy, because you're saying you don't have enough time to do these things, but you'll find that before you jump into every piece of drama in your life, you will figure out what your role is supposed to be, if any, and you will find that you have more time. Now, the reason why you might have a hard time with that is because you're going to discover that you like having that drama, so that you don't have to so that you have an excuse for why you didn't get done what you needed to get done. And that's on you and me when we do that. Okay? So I send you lots of love and angel blessings, and have a beautiful, beautiful week. God bless.